Brian, what do you got so much stuff for? Why do you look like some kid that just came from some magical place?
What are you talking about, Ryan? This is how I spend all my days. Just in my cool Disney BB-8 cap and my plush Porg, my Porg stuffed animal. That if you look at its butt for a second, it says, why am I putting it at the mic? But look at the butt for a second, it says Disneyland. And my baby Groot.
So
I just hang out with these guys all the time. That's what I do every day. This is normal just for me.
You just sit there and just clutch it up to your chest and.
Hello. What Groot? You are Groot? Yeah, I know you're Groot. Just get the hell out of here. Shut up, Groot. You know what, Groot? You're going to the bench. It's just me and my Porg.
I think you might have a problem.
Sorry, man. I'm just in a little withdrawal. I just got back from the happiest place on earth, and now I'm not happy. Work sucks. Hurt my back. I'm old as shit.
You looked at your bank account afterwards.
No, I haven't even done that yet. Dude, I don't want to be suicidal. Are you kidding me? It was 105 degrees every day in Disneyland. We spent $300 on water.
Oh my god. Are you kidding me?
No. We never joke about $300 on water.
You can't bring it in?
Why am I still petting this Porg? Let me put this Porg down here.
Can you bring water in?
Yeah, but then you have to have like a backpack, and you have to carry a backpack full of water in 105 degree temperatures. No. I should probably ditch that. You know what? I'm going to hang on to the hat for a little while, though. I'm going to wear this for a minute.
I think it looks very nice.
It's my super cool hat. Any of you who have been following the show for a long time know that I also have a matching R2-D2 one. Look at that thing, though. BB-8 hat.
It's pretty rad.
It's going on my head. It doesn't quite fit on my head, so if I look like a special person, I'm going to wear a little cockeyed like that. So.
You look really special when you're clutching your plush toys, and you could have just been like, this is my line.
You know what? Whatever. Welcome, everybody. Should I start the show?
Yeah. We're on episode 118, by the way.
100, are we? Welcome, everybody, to the 118th episode of the Geek Dad Report. The one show dedicated, formulated, specially created into letting me stroke my Porg. And making Ryan laugh. And also possibly, maybe, bringing you guys all the weekly nerd news that happened. And possibly even giving you a review of some strange things.
Two stranger things. I, as always, am Brian West, the host with the mostest Porgs, that is. And that beautiful man over there, not wearing a Mickey Mouse BB-8 hat, is Ryan Tomlinson. Hello, everyone. I do feel like a little left out, I'll be honest. I'm going to patiently wait for my gift box to arrive in the mail soon with my own hat. Possibly.
Yes. It should be arriving any day. Did you not hear that I spent $300 on water? There was no money left over for gifts for people. Especially not with all the Porgs I had to buy. I bought this Porg, and I bought this Porg when I rode the Star Wars ride, and then I bought this baby Groot when I rode the Guardians of the Galaxy ride like 30 times. It was amazing.
Did you clutch the dolls to your chest as you rode the rides too, or?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Don't you judge me over there, Mr. McJudgy Pants. You know what? I'm not going to deal with your hate because you're super jealous of my sweet hat. And amazing. Why do I keep petting this thing? It's not a fucking dog. I'm gonna put my
I don't know why you're petting it like it's going to like give you some kind of love
Here's the hard part. Everybody on iTunes, I apologize because this is very much a visual gag. I have a beautiful like Mickey Mouse ears. That is the head of a BB-8 droid with ears. And I have a really cool stuffed animal Porg that looks very lifelike. And I'm just sitting here stroking it.
It's kind of like you're like some weird, like, evil...
Oh, yeah, well, that's the problem. Like, if you're wearing this hat, you cannot not have a Porg, right? You can't have something in your hands. You're just sitting here like this. But I feel like when I have this and I do this, it's perfect for my outfit.
Yeah, you look like a very special boy. I feel like I should just start calling you buddy.
Should I just do this whole episode and just pet my Porg and give the news? I feel like, though, I wish I could have a harness so it sat on my shoulder like a parrot.
Oh, that'd be cool. You should get, like, some double sticky tape.
Well, I could, but then it would fall over like this, and then it would just be disastrous. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit here and hold my Porg. He's gonna be part of the show today.
You just stuff it down the front of your shirt, and its head can poke out underneath your neck. And yeah, see, there you go. That.
Hang on, get his little wings out here.
Yeah.
Get your butt out of my mouth. Here we go. Whoop. So anyway, everybody, it's me and Ryan and the Porg, and we're here for. Let me put it over here so it doesn't muffle my microphone.
This is a mature adult show.
Are we doing a show? Dude, I've worked like 80 hours in 4 days because people are incapable of running my route right when I'm gone on vacation. So I don't even know if news happened. Should we just dive into the news unless you want to talk about something else?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's just dive through the news, swim past it, and go to the island of Stranger Things.
Yeah, because between my Disneyland trip and watching Stranger Things this weekend, I didn't do anything else.
I spent every available hour I had getting caught up on Stranger Things.
Good. It's about time you contributed to the welfare and health of our show.
Hey, I contribute a lot, Brian. I do things.
I know you do things.
Do things, Brian.
You do things, but this is a PG-13-ish show. We can't talk about those kind of things on this show.
Oh.
Just struck my ears, though. I don't know why I just did that. Anyway, moving on, diving into the Ninja News. You know, at some point I might get tired of this hat, but I don't think I ever will. I was going to put on my equally awesome Star Wars hat. Look at that, guys.
Do you have the strap on?
No, it's not strap on. What are you talking about? Don't be a weirdo. This is a custom Disneyland Star Wars hat. You can only get this at Disneyland. I don't know if that's actually true, but I've only ever seen it at Disneyland. So I just want to show you one more thing, Ryan, that you are not getting in a package in the mail. This is pretty cool. Look at that. It's also reflective. This hat was worn by me when I hugged a Wookiee. This hat was also worn by me when I got my picture taken with Kylo Ren and Darth Vader. Does that do anything for you, Ryan? Yeah, that happened.
Was there any choking involved, or
no? My experience with Kylo Ren, though, was a little strange. So Darth Vader was pretty cool, considering he murders younglings and doesn't know how to get the high ground. But, you know, he brought us over, talked to us about joining the Empire, let us know how we've made the right decision, and then he sent us on our way, right? Kylo did not want to take a picture with me. He kicked me out of the picture and took a picture with my children. And then when I stood next to him to take a picture, he was like, "Get the hell out of here." And I was like, "You really are a dick. If I had a lightsaber, I would totally cut you right here across your face and destroy you."
Did he really? He didn't want you to take a picture with him?
No, he was a total jerk. I'm totally not wishing for him to get a redemption arc in The Last Jedi. I told him that, too. I was like, "You killed Han." I actually thought my daughter was going to say something about him killing Han Solo because she was very nervous to meet him because she's like, "He killed his dad." I'm like, spoiler alert. Yes, he did.
Don't get any ideas.
Yeah, no shit. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
That's why I got you on the show, bro.
Yeah. Well, I think your oldest, you don't need to be concerned about, but I think it's your youngest that you need to be.
She definitely is going to try and murder me in my sleep at least one point in my life.
Yeah.
And she's coming over here. What do you want? Charlie, what do you want? No, we're live. We're recording. You can't say hi.
Yeah. Can't you see all the...
You're wearing a Look, no, get out of here. No.
She can just...
If you
Charlie,
knock over
you
my
can just...
set, there she...
You just look at me.
Pick you up. Get out. Go upstairs and watch your movie.
I want to see.
Chuck.
No, go.
Chuck can just say hi.
Say
just
hi.
Look at me, Chuck.
They can't see your face. Just say hi.
Where's my favorite girl?
There she is.
There you are.
There's Chuck, who's going to murder me one day in my sleep. Get out of here. Get out of here, younglings. Where's that lightsaber at? Hey, old Annie's got something for you. Come here. Little punk. Get out of here.
You're getting very, you got a lot of props going on here.
What are you talking about? I have no props. Whatever. Let's do the news.
Well, anyways, news.
All right. We were talking about Stranger Things. Should we do we didn't do the Ninja News chops.
Speaking of our show, it's just going to be titled The Stranger Show Things.
Oh my God, you actually came up with a show title this week. That is going to be the name of our show title this week. Anyway, hey everybody, we're going to dive into the news. It's time for Ninja News. We're going to come with the Porg Wing of Justice. And the Baby Groot flip of information. Woo!
We'll close it off with the good old Cobra Kai leg sweep of justice.
Dude, he totally sits on my shoulder. How many props can Brian fit into one screen? I'm going to just sit like this the whole time and think about better times. All right, Ninja News time.
I feel like I need to go into my kids' room and get some of their stuffed animals.
Nope. The sad part is, everybody, is these are these are actually mine. I bought these for me. I did buy a miniature Groot, which my youngest immediately lost. But the Porg is mine. It's all mine. And the hat, my youngest did get one of these too. But all right, Stranger Things. A lot of people watched it. Season 2. We're going to talk about it on this show here in just a few minutes. But yeah, how many people watched it, Ryan? You asked. That's a good question.
15 million people.
15.8 million people. That is more than The Walking Dead. That might even be more than Game of Thrones. Maybe, I don't know.
I just remembered I have not watched any of the new Walking Dead yet.
Obviously.
What is that supposed to mean?
I don't know. I just throwing that out there. Netflix usually doesn't share their numbers with everybody, but the Nielsen rating, the TV rating, people who do all the TV stuff, has promised to start doing more Netflix shows. So they have actually, I'm not sure how, but they've recorded the downloads, and they've come up with a number of 15.8 million.
I think they did this and just made something up.
I think they called all their friends and said, hey, do you watch it? Yeah, okay, well, then we'll just say... But I totally believe it's 15.8 million.
The only people that still have those things are like super old people that watch Channel 4 with their antenna.
Yeah, well, whatever. But anyway, no surprise. Stranger Things is a cultural phenomenon. It is tapped into the blood, the veins of the world, and everybody loves the show. And we're going to talk more in depth about Stranger Things 2 here coming soon. Let's see what else we got here. I did not organize anything, so I'm just reading off of my notes here.
Just go off the list, Brian.
Should I try and make things make sense, or just read each one as I see it?
Just read each one. Let's just blast it.
Well, speaking of Porgs, Ryan, like you mentioned, apparently Build-A-Bear now has a cuddly Porg. They have a Chewbacca, and they have more from The Last Jedi. So if you look online, the Porg that you can get is not nearly as cool as my Porg, and it's probably 10 times more than I paid for this one. But if you want your very own Porg and you don't want to go to Disneyland, you can go to Build-A-Bear and get one for $80.
Don't take your kids into Build-A-Bear and tell them that they can just look around, because it's not going to end well.
No, so that's a terrible idea.
Go into the store and fully commit to buying something, or just don't go in the store at all. That is what I've learned from Build-A-Bear.
I wouldn't go to the store. I just wouldn't do it. Let's see here. What other news do we have? Stranger Things 3 apparently is already in the works. The directors and creators of the show have already announced that they're hard at work at the next chapter.
Well, I don't know. The ending was pretty, closed book. So I don't know where they're going to take it from here.
Well, we'll talk about that in our...
It was 100%
teaser in our Stranger Things 2 conversation we're going to have in exactly 3.5 minutes. Let's see what else we got here. What's big news? Oh, they cast Shazam. DC has announced that they found their Shazam, their Captain Marvel for the upcoming movie. Guess who it is?
It's Chuck.
Yep. Chuck. Everyone saw that casting coming. The 106-pound, 7'2" tall Chuck is going to be Zachary Levi is going to be Shazam. All joking aside, when I heard this casting, I was actually very excited. I think he's a perfect Shazam. Billy Batson is the type of character you need someone who's really excited to be a superhero, and Zachary Levi has this likeness about him that he just seems to be happy at all times.
Yeah.
I loved Chuck. He's great as Flynn Rider in Tangled. I think he's a really good actor, and yes, he's going to work out. So anybody's worried that he's too skinny, he's already said, I'm going to be spending the rest of my life in the gym now. But
yeah, this is like the best, because the studio pays for like a trainer and like a diet person, and I mean he's literally he's going to be eating chicken with no salt or pepper or any seasonings on it, and broccoli.
Ryan, how great would it be if Warner Brothers came to us and said, Ryan, you guys are the next Batman and Robin. Here's how it's going to be. We're going to give you each $5 million, and we're going to turn you guys into like Greek gods. I'd be like, this sucks.
You're like, yeah, this is terrible.
But then again, I can't even do my job without straining a back muscle, so I don't know if I could be the next Batman or Robin. I could play Alfred, as long as I get to wear this sweet hat.
I'll be Batman and Robin. I'll do a duel.
I want to be Alfred. I want to be the Alfred that never grew up. Oh, speaking of growing up, James Gunn is asking Marvel and DC fans to grow up. Apparently, he says he's sick and tired of anytime he wants to talk about Batman v Superman, his entire Twitter and Facebook feeds turn into a bunch of nerds bitch slapping each other over who has the best franchises. Guys, let's just all get along. We can like them all, okay? We can like everything equally. We don't have to be big jerks to each other.
Come on, Groot, just sit still. Groot, that's all you gotta do.
It's baby Groot, dude. I'm surprised he sat still this long. But anyway, all we're saying is we agree with James Gunn. Be nice to your fellow nerds. Speaking of Justice League, which I wasn't, but I am now, they came out with a pretty sweet IMAX poster.
Yes.
I want it.
The one that was all drawn one.
Yeah, it's an animated one. I believe it's the actual... At first I thought it was just the IMAX poster, but apparently it's the Regal Cinemas IMAX poster. So if you go to an AMC, that you may not see this poster. Everything I read is it's going to be exclusive to Regal Cinemas. But, check it out. It's up on our Facebook page. Pretty awesome. Something else that's pretty awesome is Preacher has been renewed for Season 3.
Woo!
I'm very excited about that. If you're not watching Preacher,
gotta watch
you should be.
Season 2.
It's awesome. Let's see here. Justin Lin is coming back to direct Fast and Furious 9 and 10.
So what's next? They're going to go in outer space?
That is actually the rumor. But Tyrese Gibson may not go along because apparently he's beefing with The Rock again, and he says that if The Rock signs up for 9, he's not coming back. I hate to break it to you, Tyrese. That is a fight
Nobody
you are
gives
going
a fuck
to
about you.
lose.
You got no leverage, Tyrese.
Yeah, you have made exactly 3 hit movies, and they all have Fast and Furious in the title. Congratulations.
Yeah, and they're all starring people that were just the main cast.
And you are always at the end of the cast.
Yeah.
And Tyrese Gibson. That's not a good place to bargain from, my friend. Let's see. Another good a place that's also not good to bargain from is... Never mind. Flashpoint movie apparently may not happen if Justice League bombs.
And I can sadly see that happening.
Let's be honest. If Justice League, that'd be like the Avengers tanking. If the Avengers would have tanked, we would not have the MCU as we know it right now. So,
yeah, that's pretty true. Because they kind of built everything up for that, and that was like the big test right there.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's been a lot of people coming out saying Justice League's pretty good. They've had some early screenings, but, I mean, they did this with BVS, and I don't know, whatever. I'm excited. Justice League comes out in a couple weeks. I'll be there. We'll have a full review on this show. Yeah. Something else that's come. Speaking of things that keep coming back, Ryan, Pet Sematary is getting remade. It's officially happening.
I have not seen the original one, so I don't even... I know they're, like, campy kind of horror movies, right?
Mm-hmm. Well... Yeah, I mean it is. My Porg. Yeah, it was alright. It was kind of that 90s Stephen King thing where he had all these, that same style of 90s horror movie that came out back then. But, whatever. I don't care. I'm excited. I just watched it. It's amazing. I'll watch.
I'm not going to watch it.
Also, speaking of things coming back, I don't know if that was a segue. Oh, hang on. No. Now, speaking of things being reshot, apparently the Han Solo movie, the rumor is that Ron Howard reshot almost the entire movie. Shocker.
that makes sense, considering that how bad everybody, the director and Disney, how far apart they were on where they wanted the movie to be. So
well, and on top of that, the budget. And that's where a lot of this rumor's coming from. Is the budget is doubled what it originally was, and considering the length of which they shot this movie, yeah, would not be a surprise if they did reshoot almost the entire movie. I mean, maybe other than some action set pieces, but like you said, it was so far off base of what Disney wanted that, I mean, not reshooting almost the entire thing was going to be... I mean, they said Han Solo was like Ace Ventura. Of course they were going to reshoot the entire movie.
God, you see Han Solo being like, "Oh, right.
Alrighty then." Yeah, no, I can't. You know, I'm still not excited for this movie, but whatever, I don't care. I like Ron Howard. Screw it. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
As long as it says a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, you know my ass is going to be sitting in that seat.
Yeah, that's true.
Speaking of putting butts in the seats, Ryan, because I know you were, Thor Ragnarok apparently is expected to pass $400 million worldwide by Sunday.
I'm not surprised, considering that everybody is saying this is like the best Marvel movie. I mean, you hear that for like a lot of them, but they're saying this is like...
I've actually heard a lot of people say structurally this movie doesn't quite hold up, which actually falls in line with a while ago we reported that Taika Waititi, whatever, the director, said that this movie is only going to be like an hour and a half long, and an hour and 40 minutes was the original cut for this. And apparently, he wasn't lying. It was. It comes in right now at about 2 hours and 10 minutes. They added an extra half-hour footage. They had a version ready for Comic-Con, but when they screened it, apparently it was incredibly boring. So they had to go back and reshoot like a half-hour worth of action sequences to put into this movie, interject in this movie. So.
They had to have a half hour just
yes,
of
they
action?
said the movie was extremely boring as the report, and they had to interject it full of action and other stuff. So apparently it was kind of basically just a comedy without very much action sequences. So they reshot a ton of things for this movie. That's not uncommon, but when you have a movie that's you add an extra half hour onto it, fundamentally, it can change the way the movie is and can kind of mess up the original, plot structure of the film. So it would not surprise me if the story in this is a little bit of a mess, especially since they combine two movies in general. I mean, we're getting Planet Hulk and Thor Ragnarok really in one movie. So I don't know, whatever. I don't care. I'm still excited to see it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's the one that I'm hoping I can try and go see in the theater.
Yeah, I'm going to try and go see it this weekend. We'll let you know if we go see it. We'll let you know our thoughts on it as it comes out. Disney revealed the entire cast for the Lion King remake, and they had a few surprises in there, and it is going to be quite the cast. The big surprise was that Beyonce has been cast as Nala, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. See John Oliver's the parrot,
oh my God,
which he always jokes about on his show.
Yeah.
So it was very due for him to get that. But other than that, it's fucking huge ass cast. I mean, holy shit!
I'm gonna take the ears off, put the hat on.
You gotta switch it up now.
Yeah, the thing about that hat is my head gets kind of sweaty in it. It's made of like I don't know. It's made of like this weird.
Yeah, it's that insulated stuff.
Yeah, it's not designed to breathe, and it doesn't really fit squarely on my head anyway. So I'll put on my sweet Star Wars hat that I could be jealous of anyway. But yeah, no, I'm really excited for The Lion King. I mean, well, let me rephrase that. I'm excited for the cast. I think it's a great cast. I think The Lion King will be a great movie. The Jungle Book was. Beauty and the Beast was. However, I find myself never watching those again. Like, I watch them once and then I go back to the animated versions.
That's what I started to say in our Facebook post, is that these movies, because I've seen them so many times as a kid, it would be great to watch it one time. Just to see, what they do with it. But I would still rather watch the old animated ones. And I don't buy the DVDs for these ones. Mm-hmm. I don't go back to the movie theater and try and see it again. I mean, they have zero replayability because I know the story, like, by heart. Like, I could probably do every single song in the fucking Lion King if I really wanted to. I mean, that's how many times I watched that movie as a kid.
Just can't wait to be king. Yeah, no doubt. Well, either way, I feel like, if they're gonna make a movie, they at least went all out on the cast, and I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited for it.
Is Elton John going to be doing any of the songs? That's what I want to know.
I don't know, probably. I don't think they've announced who's going to do the songs yet. We'll see, but we'll let you guys know when we find out. A couple trailers are dropped this week. One I didn't watch because it's the new Last Jedi trailer, but unfortunately you couldn't miss because everybody posted the picture of Luke Skywalker in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon, which angers me. Yeah. But, whatever. If you want to watch it, it's up. I've heard it's amazing.
Yeah, and people, don't be an asshole.
Yeah,
don't post pictures. Damn it.
Well, I guess not really spoiler. And listen, I'm not saying it's spoiler stuff. I just don't want to see anything. I want to be completely... Yeah. I want to be as freaking raw for this movie as I can, right? Without seeing hardly anything.
I get annoyed that Facebook starts to automatically play videos now.
Yes.
And so I wasn't paying attention. I scrolled just under the new Star Wars trailer, and I saw it rolling, and so I saw some stuff. I was like, no! It's trying to just flip past it because it started playing it.
Nice, yeah. Well,
don't want to watch it
as well. But yeah, whatever. It's out there if you want to see it. We only have a couple months till the movie premieres. I already have my tickets. Opening night. I'm ready to go. Another movie a trailer that dropped this week that I had no intention of watching, but it was a Red Band trailer and people were talking about it, so I was like, I'll watch it. Is they released the I, Tonya trailer. It is the biopic, the biography of Tonya Harding starring Margaret Robbie. And I thought that was a weird kind of movie to make, and I was like, whatever. But I'm telling you, watch the trailer. It will blow your mind. I want to see this movie so bad. It looks really good.
I avoided it just because I knew it was Tonya Harding, and so I was like, dude, no.
In the trailer, it says this is the godfather of ice skating movies, and you're like, what? It literally is. You gotta watch it. I'm not even joking, people. I would not steer you wrong. Check out the I, Tonya trailer, and you tell me that movie does not look amazing.
Godfather of ice skating.
I can't even explain the movie. Yes, it's going to have Nancy Kerrigan get kneecapped, but it's not even that kind of movie. I don't even know how to explain it. It looks batshit crazy. I want to see it. But anyway, that's just me. All right, last little bit of news we got for you guys is the Marvel's New Mutants was supposed to be coming to Freeform. That's the one that had Squirrel Girl and a few other ones. Apparently, Freeform is going to pass on it, which is strange because that is a Disney show, or Disney Channel. So I'm not sure if they decided they don't want to put it on Freeform because they think it could be a bigger hit somewhere else or what. But apparently, it's shopping other networks. A little bit of information came out though when the Hollywood Reporter broke this story. Apparently, the rumor is that Disney is no longer allowed to license out their merchandise. So, for instance, anything that's Marvel or Disney or anything that's Marvel or Star Wars or Disney cannot go to a network that is not a Disney affiliate.
So they can go to ABC, ABC
Family, Disney XD, Disney, the new. A lot of people believe this has something to do with the streaming service that's going to be launching. They don't want to. They're holding everything for their streaming service. But if that's true, that means Netflix will no longer be getting any more Marvel licenses. So literally, all they'll have is the Punisher and the ones they already have. So, So I don't know. We'll see. That kind of was dropped in the tail end of that story. But if more information, a lot of people have picked it up and kind of ran with it and been asking Disney for their feedback. So we get any more information, we'll let you guys know. But honestly, that sounds about right. I mean, if you're about to launch your own streaming service, that's going to have nothing but your original content on it. You've got all these Marvel properties and rumored Star Wars shows coming out. Why not hold on to them or make sure they only go on your affiliates?
And there's one studio that got a fuckload of properties. It's Disney.
Yeah, It's Disney. Disney's got a few. Probably because they have a lot of money. Speaking of people who just got paid, the Orville has been renewed for season 2. I know you're excited about that.
Woohoo! Season 1 has been really... If you like Star Trek, but with the sticks out of their butts, and then this is the type of show for you.
I was reading an article that said how Orville Star Trek's better than Star Trek.
It does.
And I really need to watch this show. I've been putting it off. I want to watch it. But now that there's a season 2 renewal, I'm really excited to watch the first one, knowing there's going to be more.
The last episode, they go to a planet where basically it's Reddit, and everybody has a down and up arrow. And if you get too many down arrows, you basically get like capital punishment.
Oh my god!
And so, yeah,
thank God that's not here in America.
Good.
That sounds like it's got some good social commentary. No, the reason I was putting this off is I didn't want a Firefly situation, a sci-fi show that everybody loves, gets canceled after one season, and then you're just left angry. So, yeah. So
no, this one's good. This is a show for you, Brian. I'm surprised you're not watching it. It'll hit a lot of the comedy, the type of comedy that I think
I'm going to start watching it now when I get caught up on everything that I have. But, yeah, I'll definitely check it out. And lastly, a little bit of Star Wars, went into some Star Wars news. Apparently, Kathleen Kennedy was on some other show or podcast or somewhere. I don't know where. I read part of the article. I didn't read the whole thing. She has said that they are in right now. They kind of asked her what's next, and she said right now we're in the planning stages for the next 10 years of Star Wars movies. They're talking about how what's going to happen with Poe and Finn and Rey and all the characters now. So it sounds like they're kind of plotting the Star Wars Episode 10, 11, and 12. And besides that, the in between movies. So it definitely sounds like we're going to have a new Star Wars movie every year for the next 10 years.
I'm not going to complain.
You know what? I'm actually okay with one Star Wars movie every year for the next 10 years. I don't mind 2 or 3 Marvel movies a year because there's so many different properties. And maybe Star Wars get to a point where you could get multiple, but I kind of like just one a year. It makes you excited all year long for one movie. It's not oversaturating it, but you can tell a lot of different stories. Maybe if you find a way to spin it into multiple franchises within Star Wars, so like a Knights of the Old Republic, where you have like episode, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you have, your normal episodes. I'd be okay with a couple like that, if you get a couple movies a year for that perspective. But I kind of like just one. I want one movie a year. I want it around Christmas, and I want all year to get excited for it.
Yeah, just as long as it's not. I don't really like the idea of all these solo movies, like the Han Solo one and stuff like that.
Play on words.
I just want a continuation of the story. That's all I want.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
So, if they gotta do it for the next 30 years, fucking do it. Because that'd be great.
Yeah. I'm excited about it. Let us know what you think.
You sound very excited about it.
Oh, dude, my neck hurts. Told you, man. I jacked my back up tonight.
I was
also trying to decide. We had one more story to cover, and I was trying to decide whether I wanted to get into it or not. But if you're a House of Cards fan, good luck with season 6. They suspended the shooting indefinitely because apparently, in the 2 weeks that I was gone, everyone in Hollywood has been found to have sexually assaulted someone.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin Spacey is the latest. I don't know what you call him. Their latest.
He's latest pedophile. Actually,
yeah, latest closet pedophile that all of a sudden, and he had the weirdest apology. If you don't know the story, I don't want to dig too much into it, but if you don't know the story, apparently when he was like in his early 20s, he made some real heavy sexual advances towards a 14-year-old actor, and says he doesn't remember because he was drunk. So the guy came out and said, "Hey, Kevin Spacey tried to have sex with me when I was 14." And since then, more people have come out and said, yeah, we've had some weird experiences with Kevin Spacey. But then Kevin Spacey came out and said, hey, I'm really sorry. I don't remember that happening. I was drunk. If it did happen, I'm really apologetic. But hey, surprise everyone, I'm gay. Right? And everyone's like, what? It was the weirdest, coming out apology. It was like he decided to take this moment to combine apologizing for, trying to statutory rape somebody. And, by the way, I'm gay at the same time. It was just really...
Yeah. He was obviously hoping that the gay thing was going to overshadow all the rest of it.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, I think him coming and saying, I'm gay, this is my moment to come out. People did not embrace him the way that he had hoped. And everyone who... If you were in Hollywood and you have groped a woman, done inappropriate things to a woman, or done anything that could be deemed as assault, you need to be hiding because they are...
Yeah.
People are coming out of the woodworks.
Or run for president, because apparently that's also presidential.
Dude, I saw the best meme the other day. It says, only in America could we treat our TV presidents with more hostility and not hostility. What was it? Basically, we're stricter on our fake presidents than we are on our real presidents. I was like, Fake president, show gets canceled, has to go into hiding. Real president, nothing. It's like, oh, God. Anyway, like I said, I don't want to dwell too much on this other than Harvey Weinstein is a monster, and all these people who in Hollywood have been doing this shit for years are all a bunch of dirtbag assholes, and I'm glad they're all getting called out and kicked out of Hollywood.
And it makes it easier for me because we are way behind on House of Cards, and now we just won't watch it. So
I'm super behind. Like, I've never watched one episode, so maybe I'm not just going to start now, especially since we don't even know if there's going to be a finale to this thing. They might just cancel the whole thing. Apparently, Netflix is talking to all the cast members and seeing if they want to proceed or how they feel about this whole situation. Obviously, it's probably a lot of uncomfortable people. Nobody wants to work with somebody who could, in fact, like you said, be a pedophile at the worst case scenario, a best case scenario, a statutory rapist. And when statutory rape is the best case scenario, maybe not a great work environment. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I think opinions get changed pretty quickly.
Yeah, anyway, so, there's a lot of that going on. Me and Ryan haven't really talked about it, but we are not unaware of it. It's just kind of, we don't know anybody involved. We think this whole thing is just awful that women have been treated the way they have been in Hollywood, and I'm glad to see this stuff. I mean, it sucks that it takes so long to come out, but it's good that it's, finally being taken serious, and it sounds like Hollywood is definitely doing some cleaning house, which is nice, so.
Yeah. It's nice to know that people have the courage to stand up and say something, and that there's people that are willing to stand behind them and support them, because that is something that has been obviously severely lacking for a very long time. So.
Yep. All right, well, that is all we got for you guys today in the news. I think it was porgtastic, Ryan.
I think we need Porgs need to be like tribbles, where they just keep multiplying.
Oh my God, the cuteness factor!
I think they're just going crazy.
I don't know why all of a sudden my pork sounds like Beaker. All right, moving on to our main segment tonight. Me and Ryan are going to take a few minutes here, and we're going to talk all things Stranger Things Season 2. So, I don't know. I don't think we can talk about it without getting into the spoilers a little bit.
Yeah.
You want to do full spoilers, some spoilers, or no spoilers?
Let's try and keep it as spoiler-free as possible.
All right, so tell you what.
It's not a separate show. If this was a separate feature, I'd say go for it. But
maybe me and Ryan, maybe we'll talk about it. Maybe we'll do a separate Stranger Things full spoiler cast and go over everything about the show. But right now, we will try and keep this as spoiler-free as possible. So if you have not watched it, fret not. We are not going to give away too much. But that being said, as always, when we talk about something on the show, we talk about it. So there may be things. If you don't want to know anything, I suggest skipping ahead of maybe 5 or 6 minutes. But if you don't care about those things and you want to talk a little Stranger Things too, well, guess what? We got you covered. So me and Ryan both binge watched over the weekend the second installment, all 9 episodes of Netflix's hit series, Stranger Things.
Yeah, and I'd first like to say thank you for only making it 9 episodes and not stringing it out and if they had done more, it would just fuck up the story and it would just take too long.
That's always been one of my biggest complaints with the Marvel series is they always feel way too long. There's always about 3 or 4 episodes right in the middle that are just boring. Stranger Things, they go as many episodes as they need to. And honestly, the first season was only 8 episodes, and they could have done 8 episodes in this, but they decided to take 1 extra episode and kind of do a 11 goes on her own adventure episode, which actually I thought was kind of cool. It could have easily been a backdoor pilot to something else.
It was 11 kind of finding herself and kind of expanding on her story, giving her. Okay,
listen. In the very opening of this series, you find out that there's another 11, right? So I'm not spoiling anything. Literally, the opening scene of the first episode is number 8, and you see a little bit about her, and then they don't flash at all the way until the 7th. I think it's the 7th episode, I think it's episode 7, and 11 goes to meet her, and so. I liked it, man. I know some people have complained about this episode. I didn't. I thought it was great. I liked seeing her in a different environment outside of her own city and the story, continuing, but also going in a totally different place.
I kind of liked the crew that she was with.
I love the crew. They were total jackasses.
Yeah, and it was just fun. It was very 1984's counterculture.
Oh yeah.
And it fit very well with the story.
At any moment, you expected Arnold Schwarzenegger as a Terminator to show up and say, "Give me your clothes and your glasses."
Yeah.
No, it's this Stranger Things does a great job of capturing the '80s, and this I thought continued with that. This. We had all the ages nostalgia with the kids and everything in Hawkins, but this one episode take outside of Hawkins in a different city, like you said, captured the counterculture of the 80s, and I really enjoyed it. And their story took a little bit of a turn that I didn't expect. Like, I thought I knew what was going on with their story, and it wasn't. It was something totally different.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
also introduced elements for possibly season 3, right? So, I thought it was a good episode, but what'd you think of the story in general? So, I mean, Stranger Things was so good, there was the potential for this to really have a letdown, and I thought they not only didn't let it down, I thought they knocked it out of the park. I thought they grew the series, they improved upon it, and I think, personally, where the first season could almost be, like nostalgia was almost one of the stars, right? Like, they tried so hard to capture the 80s, that you could almost feel like they were trying to capture the 80s, where this season felt like you were just there, right? Felt like you were in that universe, and it was just organic.
And they did it a lot more subtly, with what they were trying to take and put, into the movie, like the aliens part, and
God.
including Terminator, and
this also. Where the first one had the first season had more of an E.T. type feel to it. This one definitely had much more of, like you said, an aliens, Terminator. Definitely more of the sci-fi horror of the 80s in this season. And it was creepy, man. There was a few moments I jumped literally out of my seat. My wife started laughing at me. She's like, "You totally jumped." I'm like, "Yeah, I did."
I've had, for the last 2 nights, the most fucked up dreams I've had in a long time. Just like weird shit just like coming up and like trying to get me, and
well, for anybody who doesn't know what the story is, so Stranger Things season 2 basically picks up about a year after Stranger Things season 1, and the season does a really good job of kind of filling in that year for certain characters like that you didn't know what was going on, and it kind of shows you what's been going on, but it picks up a year later, and unfortunately Will's time in the Upside Down did not end there. The Upside Down is still trying to get into our universe, and that's kind of where this whole series picks up. We're introduced to a bigger villain, a much eviler villain. You've probably seen the villain in the trailer. I really like that too, because instead of having a lone monster, we got almost like a Voldemort type character, somebody a mastermind that's controlling these creatures and that wants to. We don't learn everything about it, but we kind of get a basic that, hey, this creature wants our universe, right?
And you kind of get to find out what that thing was that Will coughed up and spit out to the sink.
You totally get to find out what that thing was. Ugh. So, dude, there's some nasty stuff in this, and there's some downright scary stuff. I mean, they do a good job in some ways of taking certain episodes and giving you movies. So there's an episode that could literally be The Exorcist.
Yeah.
And there's an episode, like Ryan said, that could be Aliens and Terminator, and it's really good. They expanded the mythology, and not just that. You know what I really like too is they didn't try and do the exact same thing with the characters, right? Where Mike in the first season was the kind of the de facto leader. His relationship with 11 kind of drove the story with the kids. He's the guy trying to find his friend Will. His other friends are just kind of with him. In this one, Mike isn't really the leader. Mike is dealing with the emotional fallout of that he misses 11, and that his friend Will is having to deal with so much from the backlash of what happened to him in the first season. And the other characters got a lot more story too, and they introduced new characters.
I think Dustin kind of stole the series.
Who stole it for
season?
Me this season? Steve.
Lucas?
No, Steve.
Oh, Steve?
The boyfriend? Dude, he was so great in this.
Yeah, he was a lot better. She said when he says he's a damn good babysitter.
I can't even talk about when his story really begins because it'd give a spoiler away. But once his story kind of gets going, once he breaks off from what you think he's there for, and they let him go be his own thing. Steve is so great in this. But yeah, no, Lucas, I loved Lucas in this. I love Lucas's little sister. She was hilarious.
Yeah, Lucas' little sister is fucking great.
And the only character that it's not that I didn't like, but he was so out of place was, what was it, Billy? Is it Billy, the new crazy psychopath?
Yeah, if you watch, like, they had, like, a Stranger Things 2, like, after show
I watched
thing.
that, the after show.
They said they wanted to have, like, a human villain, because there was none, really.
Well, also, apparently, in Season 1, that was who Steve was kind of supposed to be, but they liked him so much, they ended up writing him as a good guy. And so this season they wanted to bring in like a worse Steve from Season 1.
Well, he was just like, it felt really out of place for like the first 5 episodes. Like, why is this guy such a dick?
Well, in a story full of 3-dimensional characters, he was super 2-dimensional, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of humanize him a little bit later, and you get a little bit more story, and it'll be interesting to see what happens, if his story continues in Season 3. But
yeah. But you had to wait until episode 7 of 9 to really.
Yeah, mostly he just runs around and like makes weird glares at people and kind of is a racist, but you're not really sure if he's a racist.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's trying to kill people with his car. Whatever. But
his sister Max plays. She does. I really like her addition to the show.
Yeah. Max. She's great.
Mad Max.
I didn't like Mike's sister's storyline as much. I thought her and Will's brother had more to do in the first season than they did in this
Nancy?
one. Yeah, Nancy. I didn't dislike them. I felt like their story wasn't as enjoyable as their arc in the first season. Yeah. But I think that's partially because we got more of Steve and we got more of the kids, and I think the kids took so many different journeys. And we also got a lot more of, I guess this is a little bit of a spoiler. We've seen her in the trailer, so she's coming back. 11 gets her own story, and she doesn't really interact as much with the group, which kind of was my only criticism, but it's not really criticism because the story couldn't have her interact with the group, but I kind of missed that from the first season.
Yeah, I was just kind of hoping that it would happen sooner than it did.
But I did love the pairing with her and Harper.
Yeah.
I thought that was, hey, you're getting completely out of screen. Come back into the screen. There you go. I love that pairing between the two of them, and without spoiling anything, the very end when she's doing her thing and he's just blasting aliens, dude, that was so great. That is one of my, I'm not going to spoil it, but the end scene, one of the end scenes in this, dude, is one of the greatest. Like, literally, she is my favorite X-Men. That was the first thing I texted Ryan after I finished it. I'm like, 11 is my favorite superhero. She is so badass. Because she's not overly, I mean, she's powerful, but she's also human, right? She can't just
it's because when she's using her power, she's just an extreme. Her nose starts to bleed. It still shows that even though she can do like these super awesome things, like she's still vulnerable.
Yeah, and she feels it.
And when her nose bleeds and stuff like that, like you can see, like, oh yeah, she's not, she's super powerful, but she still has a vulnerability. So I think that's a really good idea when they have that. Like, just like it brings it back that she's still human. And
what about Bob? Oh man, I did not think I'd love Bob as much as I loved Bob. Bob is Sean Austin's character. He comes off in the first couple episodes as totally nerdy, but by the end of this series, you will love Bob.
Yeah.
I love that he made a Goonies reference too.
Oh, I missed that one. Which one was that?
When he's looking through when he's trying to figure out the map, he's like, "Oh, what's at the end?" He goes, "What's on the X?" Is it the end?
Yes.
What is it? Treasure? Was it pirate treasure?
That's right. I totally forgot about that. I remember smiling at that.
Yeah, it is honestly, it was a joy to watch. My only disappointment is that it's now over and I got to wait another whole season. The cast in this is amazing as usual. Yeah. I loved all the
Winona Ryder does great as Will's mom.
Oh yeah, I liked how they even gave her more to do in this, other than just run around looking like, "Where's my son? You gotta find my son." She got so much more to do in this, and what I loved is that they gave everyone a huge arc, but left so much more room for them to continue to grow in this series, right? Mm-hmm. And the other thing I really like too is we don't always, when a lot of times when a show ends. And it's season 1 and it goes to the next season, season 1 becomes its own thing, and they don't really talk about it in the next season, right? They just kind of start their own new chapter, which actually leads me into a show that I'm going to talk about in one of our listener questions. But this show, not only does it not end, the story continues, but you also see the fallout, the emotional fallout, the physical fallout, everything that comes with going through what they all went through in the first season. Like, it's not brushed off and everything's back to normal. No. People call Will the zombie kid because they think he all died, and Will is traumatized because he went through this horrible thing, and Winona Ryder doesn't want to let him out of his sight because she's already lost him. And there's just and like I already said, Mike is sad because Eleven's gone, and
Steve's dealing with his relationship after all the stuff that they went through.
And they're dealing with spoiler for season 1, but they're trying to deal with the death of Barb and the fact that they can't tell anybody about it. And I love that they really they give us those stories. They let these characters breathe and deal and grieve, and it weaves into their characters for season 2. Right? They don't deal with them in 1 or 2 episodes. It follows them throughout all the way to the end, which makes the end. And I don't want to spoil it, but the very end, the snowballs dance, is one of the most satisfying endings to any show I've ever seen. And I just sat there. You get about 15 minutes of after story, right? It doesn't just wrap up with the end villain. You give us 15 minutes of after story, and it is some of the most enjoyable thing. I mean, I sat there grinning, just happy watching what unfolded in that snowball dance. I mean, I was just giddy. I was just happy as could be.
Dustin,
dude, that hair.
Bless his little heart. I mean,
dude, that hair was amazing. His hair is amazing. And was it 3 squirts of the
3 puffs of the Farrah Fawcett spray.
Dude, I love Steve. I'm telling you. Anyway, but if you haven't watched Stranger Things, please watch it. But I'm telling you, that snowball dance, if it doesn't just put a giant smile on your face. Yeah. You are not a
and then person. After though, when the whole world starts to tilt.
Yeah, and I like how it's like, don't you forget about me. There it is.
Okay, I just want to say something about the soundtrack.
Dude, best 80s soundtrack ever.
I don't usually pay attention to that kind of stuff in shows or movies or anything like sometimes they'll draw me in, but I'm not talking about just like the music, the choices that they made, but just like this. The sound effects and like when something tense is happening, they start playing like the 80s, like the 80s kind of music, and it's just everything was it made the whole thing super intense. Like the whole time, every episode from start to finish, it's super intense. You can't help but to just be completely sucked in.
I'm telling you,
the music. In the songs and the music and everything that they had in it, it all compiles into something just.
Dude, I mean,
really
they had an Aliens episode. They had Paul Reiser looking at a screen with little beeps, beep, 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 and people are yelling, "Get out of there!" And I'm like, "Oh, it's Aliens." It was, How much do you think they blew of the total budget on the rights to those songs? Because every song is a song you've heard of.
And they're all perfectly executed for the episode. Dude, it is. I want to know how much of that planning goes into every episode.
God, I'm guessing a lot. The Duffer Brothers, who wrote and directed this, they actually didn't direct every single episode. I think the first season they did. This season they passed it on to a few of their co-writers.
Yeah, but it seemed like a lot of the main episodes of Duffer Brothers wrote and directed. Yeah, they did.
There was some of the middle episodes that they allowed other people to do. Honestly, that being said, it didn't miss a beat. It still felt exactly the same way the entire thing. But yeah, those guys are just amazing at their craft. They put so much love into the series. And honestly, as much as I love Game of Thrones, I think I like Stranger Things better because Game of Thrones is a great show. But it wants to hurt you, right? It wants you to suffer. Stranger Things wants you to be happy, and it wants you to enjoy what you're watching. Yeah. And you still get the same great characters and writing. Yeah, maybe you don't get all the character deaths, but you don't necessarily need them all the time, right? We already have shows that kill off people we like. This show still kills off people you like, but it doesn't try and hurt you while you're watching it either, right? I love Stranger Things. It is. Yeah. I think it's, like I said, I think with the addition of season 2, I think it's my new favorite show, period. I think it's one of the best things on TV, and if you haven't watched it, please watch it. If If you don't have Netflix, it is worth getting at least a month's worth of subscription and binge watching it. I guarantee you, when you watch one episode, you will not stop until you finish them all because they are that good.
And just remember, this might be slightly spoilery, but if you're being chased by something, never stop and tell it to go away. Because it's just not going to work.
Dude, I loved that. That was not what I expected.
and it's not easy peasy, and it's never going to end well.
Yeah.
So
all right. Well, on that note, I think.
But
Brian,
God, that whole thing was just perfect.
I think we're both in agreement that we
episodes.
give this 2 massive thumbs up, 10 out of 10, must watch. Geek Dad Report approved. It's Porg-tastic, people. Porgs.
Super Porg-tastic.
All right, let's well, that went longer than we anticipated. Let's see, that's how much we loved it. You start talking about it, and we just gushed. We could have made the entire episode talking about it. All right, moving on. From the Faithful 50, what do we got?
We have Brian Curtis asking, what shows are you impressed with so far this season, and which are you disappointed in? I'm going to say the one show I'm most impressed with, other than Stranger Things 2, would have to be Orville. I was actually not going to watch it, just because I saw the Seth MacFarlane thing, and I kind of stopped watching a lot of his shows. But when people told me it was just like a funnier version of Star Trek, and I watched that first episode, I was hooked. That's impressed me. Disappointed. I'm going to say Last Man on Earth has been kind of disappointing this season. It hasn't been as funny for me. Kristen Wiig has been alright, but other than that, then it just hasn't. Not as good as the first couple of seasons. But what about you?
Well, I got a couple of shows I've actually been pretty impressed with for this season. Legends of Tomorrow has been really good for this season. Arrow's been pretty good for this season. Arrow's been much more not afraid to dive into its comic book roots, which is great. The Gifted is a show that I thought would be terrible, and it's actually, I find myself every Monday excited to watch it.
That's right. I forgot about that one.
I haven't watched Orville yet. Walking Dead's been good. What else have I been impressed with? Oh, the new season of Mr. Robot has been fantastic. And they decided to say one episode, they just said, we're going to see how far we can go, and they dropped about 30 F-bombs on USA.
Really?
I was like, oh.
Wow.
So, yeah, Mr. Robot has been really great. I don't know how many more seasons are going after 3, but they are really... Season 2 of Mr. Robot was really confusing in some aspects, and now you see why, because it was set up for Season 3. They're starting to weave the first 2 seasons together into one masterful story that's also very, very real of our times right now, and there's a lot of social commentary in this season that's been really good. A couple shows I've been really disappointed in, honestly. Well... And Stranger Things, by the way. Very impressed with Season 2 of that. Flash. I've been very disappointed with this season of Flash. I find myself just not caring. After the events of last season, they just glossed over him and dived into the next villain of the week, villain of the season. And I'm just not... It's not as much fun as it used to be. It's not... I mean, it's gotten almost slapsticky sometimes. I just feel like the writing hasn't been nearly as tight, which is too bad considering it was one of my favorite shows. Now I find myself a day or two later watching The Flash where, you know, like I said, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow, I'm watching the day of. That's the only show I've been really disappointed in so far. Everything else has been pretty good. Lethal Weapons, I started watching Lethal Weapons second season. Lethal Weapons has been really good. Another show, you know, a show that I've actually been more impressed than disappointed this season, which is cool. But a show that impressed me in its second season so far is the Shannara Chronicles. It moved to Spike, and it has been a much better show.
I didn't finish like the last 3 episodes of that.
It was rough, man. I finished it, and I only finished it because I knew the season 2 was coming in. I knew it was moving to Spike, so I thought maybe the move from MTV to Spike would maybe get rid of some of the things I didn't like about it. And it did. I mean, there's still a few moments that aren't great. Every now and then the writing gets a little cheesy, but the show itself has been so much stronger than the first season. It's actually been enjoyable. The special effects aren't nearly as bad. The action sequences are much better. The world building is a lot more realistic. I just find that it's a much better show. Is it a great show? maybe not a great show, but I mean for a Spike TV fantasy show, it's much better than it used to be on MTV.
Originated on MTV.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and unfortunately, it was a show that you would expect on MTV, but I think it's been much grittier and a better show on Spike. So there you go.
I'll have to try and get caught up on that.
Yeah, just add to the list of thousands of shows that we have to watch all the time.
God, I'm so far behind.
Dude, my DVR is jam packed full of crap right now.
I haven't even watched Flash yet. No. I'm just so far behind.
They did introduce the elongated man this week. That was kind of cool.
Yeah,
all right.
So, thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
We have Jeff wants to know, you can only dress up in one Halloween costume for the rest of your life. What costume do you choose? That's a tough one. One costume. Who would I forever be for Halloween? I want to say Darth Vader, but it sounds too cliche.
Dude, that would get so hot. You'd be just hot all the time.
Yeah. Now, are we wearing this costume every day, or is it just?
I think it's just for Halloween. You got one.
Just for Halloween. All right. It's got to be something that, just in case I get really fat, that I can still wear it. Because I don't want to be wearing like
Superman costume,
a size too small, and it's all tight, and your fat rolls start
then you should just dress up as a Jedi, because you can always hide behind the robes.
Yeah.
So I would dress up as Superman. I have a Superman costume in my closet that whenever I need a Superman, it's a Clark Kent Superman costume. I wore it this Halloween. Whenever I need to go to, I just throw it on. And the other reason why I would always wear that one is because I watched this Buffy episode years ago when it came on, where on Halloween someone made a curse, and whatever you were dressed as is what you became. And so, for whatever reason, that episode's always stuck in my mind. So whenever I pick costumes, I always think to myself, well, I gotta make sure it's something that if somebody made a curse us all, I'd be stuck as that character. So you don't want to be like a giant dildo or something. That's just not good. You wanted something cool, right? These people are like, I'm gonna go as a butt plug. Well, congratulations, you've been cursed, and now you're up someone's butt for eternity. Congratulations.
Awesome.
So anyway, yeah, Superman. So I throw on the Superman costume, and that way, if it happens, I get to be Superman.
I will go as a
Porg.
Jedi, just so that I could just turn Sith and just.
I would go. I want to dress as a Porg because they're cute and cuddly, and everyone would want to stroke me.
And eventually, someone bigger will want to stroke you all the time.
Yeah, that'd probably totally backfire. All right, thank you very much for your question, Jeff. And you usually follow up, letting us know what you would do. So I would like to know, Jeff, what you would dress up for, and also Brian, let us know what you think your favorite shows have been and what your least favorite shows have been.
And Jeff also posted in the comments that Rocksteady's next project is a Superman game. And the reveal is coming next week.
Thank you, Jeff, for that little bit of insider news. I currently have an erection. Moving on.
Yes. So that's it. Thank you guys for sending Jeff.
Oh my God, that's
Brian.
amazing. For all those who don't know who Rocksteady is, Rocksteady did the Batman Arkham games, which are amazing. Mm-hmm. And yes, I'm so excited. You just made my night, Jeff. Thank you for that. All right. What we got left? Recommendations?
So my recommendation.
So we can get out of here.
Oh, shut up.
Hey, whatever. Isn't it like 3 a.m.? Oh, Stormtrooper!
12:30 almost. So, so my recommendation this week is The Core by Peter V. Brett.
It looks like Avatar.
This is the 5th book in the series. It just came out a couple weeks ago.
Are there pictures in there? Or is that all words? That's a lot of.
This is all words. God. All words.
How am I supposed to read that?
This is one of my favorite book series, fantasy series of all time. It goes Lord of the Rings, this series, and something else. I don't know.
Game of Thrones.
But this is one of my favorites. It's the final book in the series. I don't want to say too much, but it wraps everything up really nicely. I would highly recommend it. You start with the Warded Man, which is the first book. They're all about this size. So if you like to read books as much as I do, this is really good. It's basically about a guy that there are demons that come out every single night from the core of the planet, and they can kill everybody, but nobody knew how to fight them when they came back because they've been gone for thousands of years. And so one guy figured out how you can fight them, and he painted all the wards and stuff on his hands, so when he punches them, he can hurt them and stuff. And it's a really, really good series. I'm going to actually do a GDR versus books review of it, and I'll go into a lot more detail. I might actually have an interview with the
author.
The author. So
can I be there? If I'm there, can I wear my ears?
Yes, you can do that.
That'd be cool. Yes,
so I've interviewed him a couple times before for his other books for Watch Play Read, and he seemed up for a podcast review. So
if people would like to start the series, what is the first book in the series called?
The first book is called The Warded Man, which is what I just said. If you were paying attention,
I heard you talking about A Warded Man. I didn't realize that was the name of the book.
Yes, the name of the book is The Warded Man.
Just one more time. The name of the book for the first book is
The Warded Man.
But is he really a man, and is he warded? That's what I want to know.
Yes, he's a man.
You should find out. Check out the books, and you'll find out.
It's really good. So,
spoiler alert, it's really a woman, and she's not warded. All right.
Spoiler alert, Brian's not going to read it.
I'll totally read it.
Brian can't read.
I like comic books. They have pretty pictures. You go to hell. Me and my Porg don't have to take this from you. Where's Groot?
Is that your recommendation this week?
That was him telling you you're a jerk.
Is your recommendation people should buy Porg?
My recommendation is people should go to Disneyland because it is literally the happiest place on earth. And if you're into Star Wars, they got a lot of cool shit there. I will say this, though. If you do go, make sure don't be cheap. Spend the extra $10 and get the Max Pass. It is $10 per ticket per day. So for me and my family, we spent like $120 on it. So yeah, that may seem like a lot, but you can stack fast passes. At one point, I had 5 fast passes ready to go, and I did not wait in almost any line. And you get all of your if you've ever been to Disneyland, there's people with photographers all over the place. They will take your pictures, and if you pay for the Max Pass, they will download those pictures right to your phone. So it's like having your own personal photographer. So anybody who follows me on Instagram or Facebook saw all the wonderful pictures that I posted. Most of those were taken by professional photographers that I got downloaded. Basically, I mean, for $10 for a ticket, you get them, and it's considering it's like $10 or $15 per picture. Normally, it is a heck of a deal. Plus, you get all the really cool pictures of you making funny faces when you're going down Splash Mountain, like I did.
Yeah.
But anyway, you know what? If you've ever been on the fence of going to Disneyland, it is totally worth the money. It is expensive, but it is a high-class place. They do not go cheap on anything. The place is clean. The character actors are amazing. The facilities are wonderful. It really is an amazing amusement park, and you should totally check it out. If for nothing else, and you can get a cool hat like this, a beautiful Porg, and your own baby Groot. And can I just say real quick, Guardians of the Galaxy ride, I've ridden the Tower of Terror, and then when I heard they were changing it to Guardians of the Galaxy, I thought, nah, come on, whatever. You know, it's going to be the same ride. It is the same fundamental ride, but it is infinitely more enjoyable. It is one of the most fun. They start out, so instead of trying to scare you, you know, the old Tower of Terror, they basically set this up, like you're in a crazy hotel and the elevator's been possessed and you go up and down, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
This one, they set it up that Groot's there to break you, we have to break out the Guardians of the Galaxy and he needs your help. And so you're in this like lift that's going up to help him, and then he pulls the plug. He's like, all right, let's get this party started, right? And so when he does it, he clicks his finger, and they start playing, like the one I was in was playing Jackson 5. Oh, baby, give me one more chance. Everybody in the elevator is like gigging to the song, we're like, yeah. And then he pulls the plug, and he's like, uh-oh. And then you go shooting up, and then it opens up multiple times, and you see a whole Guardians of the Galaxy scenario. So all the characters are fighting bad guys, and you're helping them on your way going up and down. But it is so much fun. It is amazing how much how much better the ride got.
Yeah, I don't even remember that ride, honestly.
So, well, you should definitely go and check it out and check out the new version. They're apparently expanding more rides into Marvel. There's a huge Star Wars and Marvel presence there already. Star Wars Land, I saw, you could look past Toontown. You can kind of see it being built a little bit. Won't open for a couple more years, but
you can find a Wookiee and give it a hug.
But I did give a Wookiee a hug, and it was one of the greatest moments of my life. It was so great. Anyway, all right, guys. Ryan, before we get out of here, would you like to tell everybody? Thank you. First of all, thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for playing along. And thanks for doing all the things Ryan's about to tell you to do.
Yeah, you can find us on Twitter at the Geek Dad Report. Brian is BrianWest53, and I am Big Bruiser. We are also on Facebook as the Geek Dad Report, YouTube at the Geek Dad Report, and on iTunes at the Geek Dad Report. You can find us also on podhell.com. And please just go like us, subscribe, leave a message, give us a 5-star rating. You can find Brian doing GDR versus the NFL every single week on our YouTube page and on our Facebook page. So if you feel like after you watch this show, like, God, I could just use Brian yelling about sports for 15 minutes and basically just jerking off about the Seahawks for a good portion of that.
Hey, best team in the NFL.
You should watch GDR versus the NFL.
Yeah, and also, if you want to bet this week, I'd just like to make special note that the Bills lost to the Jets, so I am 1-0, and Ryan is 0-1 this week.
How'd the Bills fucking lose to the Jets?
Because I picked them, and I know what I'm talking about. Ugh. The fix is in, Ryan.
No, it's just the one game that's going to happen.
We'll see who's got the better record at the end of this week. But anyway, like Ryan said, check us out on all those places. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. Send us money if you want to. We don't have any place to do it. Just send us $1 in an envelope, and it'll magically reach us like the letters at Hogwarts. An owl will deliver our money right to my house, and Ryan will get to see 10% of that at some point. Anyway, thanks everybody for joining us. You guys are awesome, and until next week, stay awesome, everybody.
Stay nerdy, everyone.
And buy a pork. Pork.